welcome back for episode 30 of the Yarn Curator. My name is Naomi, and welcome to my channel where we like to exhibit the fiber arts, primarily knitting and spinning. Today I am joined once again by my husband.
Hello.
Who we nickname Mr. Yarn Curator on the channel. And he's going to join me today to help talk about some finished objects and show off some of the stuff he's been making. So some not knitting related content.
Knitting. I haven't been knitting. No clickbait here.
Don't get too excited. So to start off the episode, we have some exciting announcements and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty making content. So first up, in my last sit-down episode, I announced that I would be doing a giveaway because this channel did reach 500 subscribers about a month ago. So I have pulled those two winners and I have actually screen recorded the process so everyone knows it is fair.
Yeah, I was asking her, like, how do the people know if it's a fair contest or not? Because I saw another YouTube/Instagram personality and they just picked who they wanted to win. And I was like, well, that's not too fair. So I wanted to make sure there's some transparency here.
So I will be posting that screen grab right here. I did use a random comment picker, and the two winners are, one is Heather, who is the 4th Star Knits, and then the other is Vanessa of A Historian Knit. So
good job, Heather and Vanessa.
Yeah, so if you guys will shoot me a message either on Ravelry or Instagram, I will get those prize packages into the mail to you. So congratulations, and to everyone else who participated, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And to everyone, before we hit 500 and beyond, I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. It's been really fun. I've really enjoyed meeting other knitters and crocheters and fiber artists just all around the world. I feel like some people it's built a great dialogue with, and just feel like I'm a little bit more part of the community. And in 2020, it's nice to feel connected to people even though they're far away. So I just wanted to say thank you. Two little bits of kind of things to hit at the top of the episode is Zoe, who has the Felicity Yarn Studio channel, and she is also my big sister. Her and I are hosting a make-along right now using the hashtag SteekAlong2020, which is encouraging people to tackle steeking for the first time. Do you know what that word means?
No, you're going to have to put something at the bottom, like hashtag steeking or whatever, spelling it for people that have no idea.
Oh, absolutely. It's been in all those videos already.
Okay.
But,
my bad.
So steeking is when you knit something with the intention of cutting it. So, yeah. So a lot of people are scared to do it, but we're trying to take down those boundaries of fear and encourage people to be a little bit more adventurous in what they try. So if you want to participate in that, it's running to the end of the year. Use the hashtag SteekAlong2020 on Instagram, or we have a thread on Ravelry for chatter and finished objects if you want to participate in that. And then the last little bit is something that I started doing a couple episodes back, but it's a little small tuber shout out in the knitting world. So I've been doing 2 channels an episode. So first up is Enchanted Yarn, which is Nina. She is a knitter based out of Scotland. She also dyes yarn.
Another Scotland person, a Scottish person, I should say.
Yes, another one of my UK Scotland friends that I've made.
Thank you to whoever commented. Dinafesh?
Wendy. That was Wendy.
Wendy. Thank you so much. I'm learning more and more Scottish phrases, and thank you for giving me another one. And if you have any more, leave another comment because I feel like I'm going to be Scottish before I even know it. So.
And then the second maker I would like to highlight is Laura, her channel is called Spinning Dreams. And Laura is also based in the UK, actually in Wales. And
I'm just laughing because I hear like when Lewis Hamilton wins a race, they play the, what is it, God Save the Queen?
Yeah.
Every time somebody from the UK, I just hear God Save the Queen. So, but what are their names again?
Laura is her name.
And the last one?
Laura is the last one. The first one was Nina.
Nina and Laura.
Yes.
So shout out to Nina and Laura. Let's see. Spinning Dreams and Enchanted
Yarn.
Enchanted Yarn. Those are both great names.
Yes. And
go subscribe to them.
Go check them out. Laura's channel is really cool because her husband does actually knit and spin and dye.
Oh,
so throw down the gauntlet on that one.
You know, I may be able to learn something basic. I'm sure I could. However, it's the time thing. I just don't have time. I do a lot of stuff, so.
And which we'll get to later. So yeah, that's it for that sort of stuff. So we will move right into finished objects. So if you watched my last video, this should look familiar to you. This is a finished cardigan. It's the Forest Park Cardigan by Kay Hopkins.
Shout out to Kay Hopkins.
And I'm not going to talk too in depth about how it's constructed and all of that good stuff because there's a whole video dedicated to it. But if you haven't seen it, it's finished. And I'll give you guys a guess of who has worn it first because I might have actually stole it one day and wore it to work. The day you stole this sweater and wore it to work, I definitely wore that to my work.
Well, congratulations. Thank you for wearing my sweater, but I guess you put the work into it.
I could take it out for an inaugural run. It's warm. Don't worry, it's warm. But we had a cold morning here and I needed something quick to throw on. So that's what happened.
Okay.
But it still needs buttons. The yarn, it's knit out of John Arbon DK in the Viola base, and the colorway is called Nimbus Clouds. And then this green is by Southdown Yarns on their Flockton base, and it is naturally dyed. It does not have a colorway name. So, do you think it's cozy, comfy? Does it
Both. I haven't got a lot of time in it, but in the house time I've had in it, it feels nice. Feels better than the one I've been wearing since like 2012 or whatever.
Your
I
Gap
have
sweater.
one from the Gap, and like it's okay, I guess. People call me Mr. Rogers all the time in it though, so
We're just upping your Mr. Rogers.
yeah.
A little bit
So
more.
it's time for a change. But
does it fulfill all your cottagecore needs?
what's a cottagecore need?
Cottagecore is a trendy aesthetic right now with the idea like you escape into the country and it's all about cozy vibes, like baking, gardening, a very like idyllic pastoral
In a cottage?
painted. Yeah.
Say like on a mountain
Yeah.
in like Colorado.
Like what we used to live in.
So we used to live that life, and it's not so idyllic when you have to make a fire in
what was it? What's it called when you don't have insulation? A non-insulated home.
And we had a wood burning stove to heat the top floor of our home.
Yeah, there was no forced air to the top floor.
So not everything's so romantic, okay? But it was a beautiful place to live.
It was gorgeous. It's also not idyllic when you don't have a washer dryer in your house and you're legit. We used to wash our clothes in the stream. I
can post a link to that video, or I will post that video because I have washed clothes in tubs, big plastic tubs.
In a plastic tub in the backyard, and then you hang it to line dry.
Because the closest washer and dryer is what, like 45 minutes away, 30 minutes away, so.
You learn to hide your undies in the background of the
But
clothesline.
yeah, so this is a little nice for cottagecore. You know what I'm saying? It's a little like bougie, cottage bougie, I would call this.
Bougie cottage.
Bougie cottage, that's what I'd call this. This is like if you own like if your parents own like a hunting lodge or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? A ski lodge. That's what this is for. My parents don't own a ski lodge, but
no, they don't.
I forgive them.
All right, so I think that is it for the Forest Park cardigan.
It is. So I just want to say one last thing. I haven't worn this to work yet, but I guess this is a good segue.
Yeah.
I have worn this one to work, which we will show you a picture of me in the car going to work in it. But
you wore it to work because your work does like spirit days.
Yes, I was just not really. Well, we do spirit days, silly spirit days, but I'll randomly have somebody come up to me in the afternoon and say, Jonathan, you have to wear pink tomorrow. And I'll just have to whip out something pink, and I only have pink t-shirts and I can't wear t-shirts to work, so I'll randomly say, hey, do you have anything pink to wear? But I am on a team of all women at work. I'm the only male on my team. It's a very female heavy workplace, for better or worse, but I find it okay. But they do a lot of clothes coordinating and things like that, so I have to keep up. And
the other day they said you had to wear pink.
So the other day they said I had to wear pink. So I work with the public, and I got a lot of compliments on the sweater, not just from women, but from a lot of people in general, not only on the colors, but where I got it from and who made it. And a lot of people were surprised that my wife made it. And, you know, people that I work with, a couple people were like, oh man, can she knit me something? And I wanted to say, like, unless you got like a couple $100, no. Because that's what kind of work goes into it. And I didn't want to really explain that to people. So I just, you know, I soaked up the compliments. I accepted the compliments on her behalf. But so anytime I'm at work and I wear anything knitted, whether it's the Mr. Rogers Gap cardigan, or maybe it'll be this or that, or anytime people say, did your wife make that? And I don't know whether to be insulted for her because it's like a cheap sweater, or whether I should be flattered that they think she makes everything. But nonetheless...
Be flattered. No, it sounds like I need to make you more sweaters is what I'm hearing.
Yes, but it's Florida, so I'm going to get like maybe 2 more months of sweater weather, and then it's hot in my office. It fluctuates actually, but I can't wear a sweater all day, so... Yeah. I sweated in that one. I sweated. But sometimes for beauty, you just have to do what you have to do. So
beauty is pain.
Beauty is pain.
To quote my mother and many other mothers.
Shout out to my mother-in-law.
So yeah, we will move on. So the next project is not nearly as exciting for an FO, but
What's a FO?
A finished object. A faux.
Okay.
So, in my last episode, I showed off this hat as a finished object, and I had about 50 grams left over, so I cast on a second hat. So anyways, I cast on another hat.
It's the same hat. It's the same hat. Practically the same hat.
It's almost the same hat. So this is just a simple 2x2 ribbed beanie. I used size 8 needles. I cast on...
Just letting them compare. Just letting them compare. Because they're the same to me.
No, this one's got a cable. This one's got 4 cables. This one's just plain.
Okay.
But I just kind of made it up. I think I cast on around 72 or 80 stitches on size 8 needles. Knit 2x2 rib in the round, and then made up some decreases at the end. And this has been my work knitting that I've done, like on my lunch breaks. It's just sat in my office.
Don't knit on the clock though.
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
I'm just...
Don't knit on the clock, okay? That's not okay. Unless your boss says it's okay, you shouldn't knit on the clock.
No, I just have it for lunch. I get 30 minutes and I eat in like 5 usually.
Yeah.
So
I get an hour for lunch, but whatever.
Must be nice.
It is.
So anyways, that knit up super fast, super quick, really enjoyable, mindless, quick knit. And yeah, I guess you got a new hat.
I guess 2 new hats.
Well, this one, someone asked me for a hat, so I'm going to gift it to
Who?
them. One of my homies.
Weesht!
So that does it for finished objects. Next, we will move into whips or works in progress.
What you got?
First up is the Woodlark shawl. This is a pattern by Larke, who has the Fiber Tales podcast here on YouTube. And this is my entry into Zoe and I's make along or steek along. And so I am almost done with the body of this. It's going to be hard to show because I have it on a really small cable. But where this stitch marker is where I showed it off last on the podcast. So I'm actually going to flip it this way because it's probably going to be easier to show. So I have finished that last color work section. or I finished this colorwork section. I've worked the last colorwork section, and now I'm just knitting the last of the border. And then I'll bind off, and then my steek is right here. So you purposely cut up the channel and it'll turn it into a shawl. So it'll be a flat piece of fabric. And with this project, the purpose of steeking is so you can do the colorwork stitches in the round as opposed to having to purl colorwork, which you still have to purl colorwork on this portion here. So it's not completely flawless in that regard.
Looks nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. I talked about this in my last episode. Sorry, I have all kinds of hair in here and it's bothering me. So,
hair?
Yeah, like my hair.
Oh.
It's fallen in while I've been making it. But I accidentally messed up in the progression of colors as I was making it. So originally I was doing every other between the light and the dark blue for the colorwork sections. But I accidentally started this part in the dark blue, so it repeats. Did I poke you?
I just want to go on a quick tangent right quick. Some things come along with being the spouse of somebody who does this. And one of those things is while she's doing anything with needles, often they come very close to my eyes. And I am in fear of being stabbed in the eye with a needle. So if anybody has any almost been stabbed in the eye with a needle stories, please leave a comment. But as she was doing that, she just got my arm twice. But be careful, be very careful.
Thank you for that yarn safety tip from Mr. Yarn Curator.
I don't want to have to put on safety glasses.
But yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good, you're good. So yeah, this was supposed to be light blue and then into the dark blue. So what I did was, because this is all supposed to be one color, I added in the light blue for the bobbles there to bring it into the shawl a little bit more. So yeah, I am happy that this is soon to be completed. I was kind of on a colorwork kick for a couple months and I feel that colorwork mojo is waning. So I probably won't do another colorwork
the magic
project
just
for a while.
isn't there anymore.
Just died. So in the future,
You'll be back. You'll be back.
It'll be back. I just, yeah, I did like 3 or 4 color work projects, so I'm feeling the need to work on a different type of process.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
Which takes me into my second and last whip for this episode, because I have kind of been monogamously knitting on something different for me. So it's not a sweater, it's not a hat, it's not a shawl. I cast on a blanket.
If you're doing 2 at the same time, that's not monogamy, my dear.
It kind of is. I mean, this is all I've really worked on for like the last week and a half. You know, you've seen me on the couch working on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Will you hold my yarn ball?
Absolutely.
So I cast on the Bits and Bobs blanket, which is a pattern by Kay Jones, who has the Bakery Bears channel, and another husband-wife knitting duo. Is he picking up on a theme? No, I'm no pressure. He's under no pressure to start.
Oh, does he knit?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not jealous in any way, shape, or form. I love seeing people create things, and I think it's cool that people can
make different things.
Make different things, but you know, be a couple and make things together.
Yeah. So I'll let you hold that end.
Can I put the bowl on my head?
No. I don't want it to break. So anyways, this is the Bits and Bobs blanket. It is like a faux brioche fisherman's rib, and I am knitting this out of all of my yarn scraps. So just using up whatever leftovers I had, holding them double. Originally, my plan was to do this gorgeous fade of colors, but so I made a few modifications to my own yarn management detriment, and that is that the pattern has you cast on like, I don't know, 180 something stitches in the original version. Oh, you pulled the needle out of those stitches.
I didn't do shit.
Find a mistake in here. Oh, it has mistakes. The original pattern has you cast on like 180 something stitches, and I cast this on the morning of Hurricane Ida's landfall, which was pretty much nothing here.
You talking about ETA?
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyways, I just cast on an arbitrary number of stitches. I was like, oh, I'll just cast on however many and I'll make it a little bigger and it'll be fine. I cast on 451. So
Is that a lot?
I nearly tripled the size of the blanket, therefore I need triple the amount of yarn.
Mistake.
Yeah, so so I ended up going like, oh crap, I'm not gonna have enough yarn. So I actually pulled out 2 full skeins from my stash to supplement as I hold double, because I'm gonna need a lot of yarn for this. But yeah, it's slow going, but I'm really enjoying it. It'll be a nice squishy blanket for our couch, and it might even be big enough for one of the beds when it's done. And yeah,
looks nice.
It's engaging but repetitive, so it's kind of what I've been craving, is something a little bit more than plain stockinette. So it's a little bit more engaging, but also kind of mindless, but just soothing. It's been a very soothing knit lately, so I'm enjoying it. It's nice and squishy.
Can't wait to see the finished product.
So yeah.
The FO.
The faux. So there are some mistakes in it from when I first started because I couldn't read the stitches very well, but we're past that and that doesn't bother me because they're down towards the bottom. So yeah, just using yarn. I got my yarn bowl and that is that. So that's it for what I've been working on. You've been working on some creative endeavors.
So it's not yarn, so I would suggest fast forwarding probably like 60 seconds if because there won't be about yarn. But so I am an amateur clarinetist that I have taken up. I wanted to play when I was a kid. I played in the middle school band, but I played other instruments, and it's a long story, but anyways, so I've picked up the clarinet. But oftentimes in my life when I have a hobby, I like the hobby fully, and like I think about it when I'm not doing the hobby, as you probably do when you're not doing yarn or whatnot. So I do a little bit of painting. This is a very rough draft. This is like a few hours into it. I probably have
We'll come back in like a month or so.
Yeah, I'll bring this again, but it's just a, upside down, no, it's right side. It's just a clarinet. It's just the middle portion of a clarinet.
So it's what, that?
From like here to here. So it's just something I do in my spare time when I'm watching television or football or whatnot. And it kind of just puts my ease when I'm not playing, puts my mind at ease when I'm not playing the instrument, or, you know, maybe I don't want to play the instrument, but I'm still kind of thinking about it and it kind of takes my mind off. So does anybody do anything like that with yarn? Does anybody paint anything or draw anything or make any kind of trinkets or any little things? I know your sister makes yarn beads and stuff, so if you do, please post it or post a comment or send it to her Instagram, a picture, and we'll post it.
So it's been a lot of clarinets lately in the house. So yeah, I don't have a musical bone in my body. I can do like very rough sketches.
I don't really either, but I just like to...
You have more musical bones than I have.
Okay. I can read music and such, but not a genius by any means.
What was it the other day? I was humming a song, and I was humming what I thought was the tune to the Happy Days theme song. And,
what did I think?
And you thought I was humming like a Led Zeppelin song.
Oh yeah, so I heard her humming this song. I can't remember what song it is now, but I heard her humming a song, and so I was like, is she humming Led Zeppelin? So I started humming the Led Zeppelin song, like exactly how the song goes. And she's like, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, that's Led Zeppelin.
No.
And she's like, no, that's Happy Days. That's the Happy Days theme.
So yeah, I'm not good with music. It's not a strong suit. But
I thought the beginning of the Happy Days theme was something like Monday, Tuesday, Happy Days, or something like that. And you started like, these are the days. Something like, I don't know, but it was way off. But
oh well.
It's okay.
We all have our talents.
We all have our talents.
Or don't.
Or lack thereof.
So other than that, that is what we've been making and being creative with. We thought about introducing a new segment as well as what have you learned in your time being a yarn husband?
Oh, yes. Okay, so the first and foremost, the stabbing of the eyes. That should really be like number 3 or 4 on the list, but we'll go ahead. almost getting stabbed by needles in close proximity is number one. But
why don't you hit them with 2, and then the next time you can come
yeah,
on, you can share
I'll,
another.
for sure. So is cost. So when I was a kid and I needed yarn from Walmart or something, I would just like ask my mom, because if we were doing a craft or something, she would probably, buy it for me. So I would ask my mom, hey, we need some yarn or whatever. And we'd go to Walmart and they'd have a whole bunch of colors or like a mixture. I don't know what you call those yarns. They're multicolored.
Variegated.
Yeah, multicolored yarns. And so we would just pick 5 or 6 out and that would be it. And then, fast forward literally 20 something years and even more than that, 30 years. Fast forward 30 years and now my wife tells me some of the prices of some of the skeins, and I've been into yarn shops to buy her things when I've gone away on trips or whatnot. So I'll go into the local yarn store and I'll be like, shh. So I'll look for like not the cheapest thing, like the prettiest thing that's like a moderate price. But I mean, you'd think you're just spinning into gold. Who's the dude who spun into gold? Is Rumpelstiltskin making some of this stuff? Like, wow, really expensive. So the first thing I've really learned as a yarn husband is that it is not a cheap hobby. Just like playing the clarinet is not a cheap hobby, just like working on my MG. I have a 1979 MGB Roadster. It's beautiful, but it is not a cheap hobby.
I would just like to say that I choose to make it an expensive hobby. There are
no doubt.
More affordable yarns out there.
No doubt.
I just choose to treat myself with the more expensive yarn.
But it is not cheap. So lesson 1 of being a yarn husband, it's not cheap. So
it's not cheap when your wife has expensive taste.
That's true. So there has to be a compromise. There has to be like a balance. So.
And then the only other thing is to talk about what we've been up to, which is a lot of yard work.
A lot of yard work, a lot of maintenance, a lot of work.
So I would like, to me, being a gardener or just a general homeowner with a yard in Florida, it's like the opposite of anywhere people's normal gardening seasons everywhere else in the world. Like normally the winter time comes and you put your garden to bed, whereas here the winter comes and that's like you get like 2 good gardening seasons because you get the shoulder of the fall.
So we have 2 growing seasons, but it's nonstop.
So the garden here in Florida, unlike places in the winter when your garden or yard goes to sleep, the summertime's here when it goes to sleep, except that it's the opposite. Everything grows fast and quicker than you can keep up with it.
And it's not just the gardening, it's just the lawn maintenance.
The weeds. The trees.
The blowing, the mowing, the everything. It's a lot of work. In Colorado, we had no yard work. We just let nature take its course, and that was it. But in Florida, if you leave it alone, you'll have a jungle. So since we've been here, there's a bush that's grown in our yard, and I have not trimmed it. And the other day, I saw snakeskin wrapped around inside the bush, almost like garland in a Christmas tree. And before I started messing with it, it was perfectly intact. Well, I thought to myself, it's just dry, dead snakeskin. I'm just going to reach in there and grab it and show Naomi because it's kind of creepy, but it's not that scary. I'll reach in there and grab it. So I reached in there to grab it, and it was like it had just molted. It was like holding, I don't know, what was like intestines or something in my hand.
Spaghetti?
It was gross. It was wet and slimy, and I threw it down, and it was like, it broke, but it was gross. And that meant that it had just happened, or the snake was still in that bush, or whatever, but it was nasty.
Are you sure it wasn't just like the morning dew on it?
Naomi, I know the difference between a morning dew. Trust me. Okay. It was like a sausage casing. Ew. It was gross. So
anyways, yeah, we've been taking back our yard. It's the long and the short of it.
It's a lot of work.
So a lot of trimming of trees and bushes, and we're probably going to redo some of the landscaping in our front yard. So it's been a little less knitting time because it's been more time focused on the home, but that's okay because it's
time off for the holidays.
Time off for the holidays has helped us get a good chunk done as well. So yeah, that's what's going on in our world, unless there's anything else you
Nope.
want to talk about. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you're one of those giveaway winners, shoot me a message either here or Instagram or Ravelry. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit that thumbs up button.
Follow us on social media.
And smash, as you like to
smash
the
subscribe button, please. Please.
And until next time, I hope you enjoy whatever you're making and whatever brings you joy. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.